Ready to start?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Good. Good morning, all. Today is August 3rd, 2021. The Board of County Commissioners meeting will convene. We do have an invocation from Reverend Charles Cannon from St. Hilary's Episcopal Church. If you come on up, please send the invocation.
First, thank you for allowing me to come and pray with you. It's important for us to remember our politically elected members. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, you promise to hear us when we pray in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Therefore, in confidence and trust, we pray for this county commission who will meet today to transact business for the benefit of Lee County. We especially pray for those who are elected county commissioners, for Kevin Ruane, for Cecil Pendergrass, for Ray Sandelli, for Brian Hammond, and for Frank Mann, and for all the staff who support them, and for all the residents of Lee County who come here to offer their opinions. Enliven the board for its mission, that they may breathe fresh life into the people of Lee County as this pandemic begins to recede. Give them and give us the use of God's given power to self-govern and reveal God's will in every word and action. Finally, lead us and every person on the earth into the ways of justice and peace, and help us to respect one another in word, deed, and truth. Awaken in us a sense of wonder for the earth and all that is in it, and teach us to care creatively for the natural resources that we have, and inspire us with your wisdom to make decisions that will positively affect the lives of us and others by helping us to act with integrity and courage in all that we do. And we pray this to our gracious God, the God of all people and all places. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. Turn to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you again, Reverend. Next part of our agenda will be ceremonial presentations. The first one with Commissioner Mann.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. JR, right? Is that close enough? Come, you don't get to say anything yet, but you stand right there because we're going to try to say some nice things about you in the United States Coast Guard. It was only a couple of months ago that we were honored by the presence of members of the Coast Guard Auxiliary when we recognized Safe Boating Week. But now we have the real United States Coast Guard with us this morning, and it is my honor and pleasure to read this resolution honoring those guys. And this is Mr. James R. Fellebaum with us this morning. Whereas on August 4th, 1790, the oldest continuous seagoing service of this nation was formed by the first Congress, authorizing Secretary-Treasurer Alexander Hamilton to construct 10 vessels, and whereas the United States Coast Guard was originally organized as a fleet of cutters to stop illegal smuggling from the sea and collect revenue due on goods coming to the young nation. Later called the Revenue Cutter Service, this small organization combined with the Life-Saving Service in 1915 and assumed its now famous name, the United States Coast Guard. And whereas today the nation relies heavily on the readiness of the Coast Guard's active duty, reserve, and civilian employees, and the voluntary contributions of the 40,000 members of the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and their contributions to our nation in the area of national defense, maritime law enforcement, search and rescue, aids to navigation, merchant marine safety, environmental protection, ports and waterway safety, and boating safety have become a benchmark by which professional maritime excellence is judged. And whereas in recognition of its efforts to rescue victims, protect our environment, and defend this nation as the Coast Guard has done in every major conflict in which the United States has been involved, this proclamation designating August 4th, 2021 as Coast Guard Day is issued. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Lee County, Florida, does hereby proclaim August 4th as Coast Guard Day in recognition of the profound importance of the missions and responsibilities entrusted to the Coast Guard. I invite all to observe this day in an appropriate manner, and this was duly executed by our chairman, Mr. Ruane, this very day. Congratulations to you and all your fine Coast Guard folks. Now, if you would step forward and let's save this day for all to remember forever. Now, you hold that right where the lady can see you. Very good. Now, pretend you're happy. Now, we'd love for you to say a word or two. We're glad to have you so much.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
You gave us the proclamation.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Mr. Mann, Board of Commissioners, we're very appreciative of this proclamation. Remembering the history of the Coast Guard, the history of the Coast Guard has been long in Lee County as well. Our first station was here in 1963, and we are currently getting ready to raise that building and build an entirely new station.
Beautiful.
We just received a new commander, and I plan on having this framed and presented to him my next duty day as a little token of esteem and appreciation for his taking the helm down there. So thank you very much for your efforts, and you all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your. Great. We do have one more ceremonial presentation by Commissioner Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask India Thomas and Carl Burnside, the principal of Dunbar High School, to join us at the podium this morning. Unfortunately, our community lost an amazing coach over the summer, and this morning we have a special opportunity to recognize the achievements of Coach Guy Thomas from Dunbar High School. He was their track coach. It's an honor. Thank you all for joining us this morning. I'd like to read into the record a resolution from the Board of County Commissioners. Whereas the Southwest Florida track and field community suffered a tragic loss with the recent passing of Dunbar High School track and field coach Guy Thomas, and whereas Guy Thomas's impact on the world of track and field began when he joined the faculty at Dunbar High School in 2010 as an exceptional student education teacher and coach with a vision of turning Dunbar High School into a mecca of track and field excellence. And whereas Coach Thomas created an all-around team by merging with cross-country to create a system that developed runners in all events and embedded in his athletes the desire to expand their limits to become outstanding runners in all categories. This created an overall team that saw the boys cross-country team qualify for the state FHSAA championships for 3 consecutive years, and the overall track and field team having numerous state and national championships, including record-breaking hurdle performances. And whereas Coach Thomas was completely committed to his student athletes and ensured that they were always in a position to excel in their sport and to use their talents to succeed in getting to the next level in college. Coach Thomas didn't limit his excellence to just track and field. He also made sure that he shared his knowledge of running with athletes in other sports to help them achieve their goals as well. Coach Thomas has created a premier track and field program in Southwest Florida. He has worked with world-class sprinters like Noah Lyles and is one of the most respected track and field coaches in the United States. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Lee County, Florida proclaims August 3rd as Guy Thomas Day in Lee County to commemorate his life and to recognize the incredibly positive impact he's had on our community. It's executed this 3rd day of August by our chairman, Kevin Ruane. Thank you guys for Guy and for everything that he gave to our community. Please come take a picture with us.
Thank you.
And Mr. Burnside, if you would say a few words.
First, I want to thank Commissioner Hammond, along with the entire County Commission, for bestowing this honor upon Guy Thomas and to his family. This is something that I know that his wife appreciates, and also, more importantly, his children, who will have a better understanding and a better appreciation of his legacy, because ultimately, when you have a coach who goes beyond the call of duty, it really takes a sacrifice of the family. And they did that and allowed him to do what he did. You know, there was a quote that I read that a coach's worth isn't found in their win-loss record or on their resume, but in the impact that they made in their players' lives. And that was something that Guy Thomas did. I had the opportunity to have him be his principal as he worked for me, be his friend, and also I had the opportunity to see him as a coach for my own son, as a father. So so I saw his impact in so many different ways. And I will tell you that, you know, another quote from Billy Graham, which says that one coach will impact more young people in a year than the average person does in a lifetime. And watching him really work with young people, and it didn't matter the level of the kid, it was that his commitment to them. And it's something that is going to be a void for us at Dunbar High School. It's going to be a void for the Dunbar High School community. It's going to be a void for Southwest Florida and even the state of Florida, because he truly made his presence felt and known, and his passion was always there. And when I watched the Olympics last night with Noah Lyles, I thought about it, that was a young man that he was involved with as well, and we hope brings home the gold medal in 200 meters. So thank you again. It's greatly appreciated. I know his family appreciates it, but also we at Dunbar High School appreciate it greatly. And so please continue to do the things that you do to recognize those who have extraordinary efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next, we'll go on to the recap. Do have some revisions and corrections on the administrative items 3 and 4, as well as walk-on and carry-on from the county attorney, authorizing a suit against the state regarding the Boca Grande residential historical nomination. And then on the commission items, I'll give an update on LOSIM. So those are the items on the recap. From there, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that the board would like to pull on the consent agenda?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none.
I have none as well.
Move the,
Can I entertain a motion?
I'm sorry,
Can I entertain a motion?
move the consent agenda.
Wonderful.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second on the consent agenda being moved forward. Any other discussion at the commission? Any public comment? Seeing none?
Chairman, if I could? I'm sorry, I didn't want to pull number 33 out of this one, so thanks for staff for working with FDOT. As we enter the, school starts up next week, and item 33 is us working with FDOT to maintain school zone warning signs. Every year we start up school, and usually the first week there's always a tragedy that happens, so hopefully actions like this will prevent that from happening as far as the injuries, the loss of lives between children this year. So thank you for staff working with FDOT with that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Commissioner. Any objections? Seeing none, motion carries unanimously. We will move on to the administrative agenda. Mr. County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Administrative item number 1 is asking you to asking you to allow us to pursue a Conservation 2020 nomination, Lehigh Acres. And Robert, will you please present the item?
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Clemens, County Lands. To go further, staff is requesting authorization to proceed with acquisition activities for parcel 613. It is just north of GS 10 Preserve, which is in Lehigh Acres with this easterly boundary along Joel Boulevard. This will allow for some connectivity in a northerly direction for flow patterns once the GS 10 project has been established. This parcel scored 70 out of 100 points, and Class Act recommended to forward this for acquisition with a unanimous vote. Any questions?
Any questions?
I move the item.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any public comment? Seeing none, any discussion at commission level? Any objections? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 2, County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'd like to ask Mr. Sellier to present to you for approval our 2022 state legislative agenda. Glenn?
Thank you. Commissioners, this does establish your priorities for the 2022 state legislative session so that they can be presented to the Lee County delegation at its hearing on August 18th. Excuse me. As usual, water quality takes top billing. A number of items related to that. I would point out that expansion of Big Cypress Basin to conform to the boundary delineation study that was commissioned by the legislature is one of the items. Another ask from the county is funding for the Emergency Operations Center expansion. And you'll recall that after Hurricane Irma, we identified a number of improvements that we want to make to that facility. And then finally, we are asking for an appropriation to do a bike ped facility on Ortiz Avenue and tie into the state project on Colonial. And if you have any questions about the agenda otherwise, I'm happy to try to answer them.
Mr. Chairman, just one comment I wanted to make. I appreciate the agenda. I think it's well put together. One thing I would like for us to do, either, Mr. Chairman, if you wanted to do it, or staff to staff, we could do it, but I think it's appropriate that we reach out to the Collier County Commission. You know, we worked hand in hand with them last year to come up with the changes on that Big Cypress Basin language that they could agree to as well. And I think it's appropriate that we reach out and let them know that this is something we were going to try for again. It's the same thing that we agreed to last year. And it may head off any, potential miscommunications that we might have in the future.
Great point. I mean, I think that's appropriate. I'll certainly make the call down to the commissioner, and I'll report back to staff.
Okay. Excellent.
I appreciate that.
And, I'll go ahead and move approval of the legislative agenda then.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any public comment? Seeing none, any other discussion at the commission level? Seeing none, any opposition? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Item number 3, County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're asking you to approve awarding contract for canal cleaning services and drainage restoration. Mr. Adelini, will you please present the item?
Morning, Commissioners. This is Roland Adelini, Natural Resources. Again, this is a contract award to Mohawk Valley Materials and a little over $3,042,000 to provide canal cleaning within the San Carlos Park area. We applied for CDBG funding, and they became eligible and approved in primarily the northwest section of San Carlos Park, near the US 41 border. About 7.2 miles of canal cleaning and about a little over 23,000 cubic yards of sediment removal in the waterways.
Mr. Chair, if I may ask a question real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Roland, real quickly, love the project. I think it's really important that we do it down there. Can you just talk about what the residents can expect to experience as this project begins down there? Will they be disruptions to any of their roadways or their canals? What will they see?
Yes, and we're working with their public information office because we're going to get the communication out to the residents because we need to let them know in advance that we are going to be in their backyard. There's possibly things that they have put in there and the right-of-way that needs to be removed, so we need to give them clear information up front that, we're going to be coming in. So, yes, there will be activities. We'll have certain access points along the waterways, but we're going to be clearing for the full right-of-way. But again, we'll be coordinating with the property owners.
And we have policies where we do work like that. If like sod or something needs to be replaced, we take care of things like that to try and put things back to.
Disturbed earth, we will certainly have to stabilize. Our intention is to cut the tree at the base and not disturb a lot, because we don't want sediment erosion to add more sediment and silt to the system, thereby kind of plugging up the system. So we're trying to avoid as much soil disturbance as possible, other than the sediment in the very bottom of the canal.
Gotcha, okay, very good. That answers my question.
Chairman, if I could. So Roland, this is going to help also with drainage to the Island Park area, which is the west of this, with this whole flow away from East Mullock drainage into that area of the 10 Mile Canal.
Well, this actually is kind of a sub-basin that makes its way to Mulock Creek, but it intercepts 10 Mile Canal considerably further downstream than the Island Park area. There may have been some overflow in the basins during Irma, but primarily this will help just the folks in the community itself.
Great, thank you. I move the item.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any public comment? Seeing none, any discussion at the commission level? Seeing none, any opposition? Seeing none, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. County Manager?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Administrative item number 4 is award of a contract for ditches, sidewalks, and culvert work in the San Carlos Park area. Mr. Searchy, will you please present the item?
Good morning, Commissioners. In the same area and part of the same grant, Lee County DOT is going to have a contractor in there. We're going to fix about 72,000 lineal feet of roadside ditches, clean about 1,450 driveway culverts, and 1,800 or so square yards of damaged sidewalks. Roland's group will be in the back of their homes, and we'll be in the front of their homes. We'll make sure everything runs smoothly.
Great.
Mr. Chairman, if we could just elaborate that real quick on kind of what they can expect, what do we do to try and keep some of the dust down and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, again, we'll be digging the swell. We'll check the grades on the culverts, make sure the culverts are either not damaged or at the correct elevation, change the driveway culvert out. We'll give them plenty of notice to get their vehicle out, and we'll try to do while they're at work type thing. Hopefully there shouldn't be too much dust digging in the swells this time of year.
Okay.
I move the item.
Question.
Second.
This is the funding source here, some more of that wonderful free federal money? Yes. God bless the Congress of the United States. Thank you very much.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any public comment? Seeing none, any other discussion? Seeing none, any opposition? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you very much. County Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 5, Mr. Searchy, please present our request to modify Daniels Parkway controlled access for Fort Myers Brew Company.
Yes, this is a request to modify the Daniels Parkway Controlled Access Resolution, and we recommend an approval for a new westbound right-in, right-out at Station 2570 plus 80 on Daniels Parkway. As you can see, it's about 900 feet east of Commerce Lake Drive. They'll have a second entrance on Commerce Lake, so it meets the spacing requirement. It provides 2 access points for that property, and we recommend approval.
Move the item.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor. Any public comment? Seeing none, any other discussion? Seeing none, any opposition? Seeing none, motion carries unanimously. Last item, County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Administrative item number 6. We're asking for approval to the First Amendment to the Caloosahatchee Regional Parkland Stewardship Plan. Mr. Lavender?
Good morning, Commissioners. If you'll recall, Commissioner Mann brought this item up as a commissioner item to do some investigation on the ownership of the Oxbow Island. We later determined that the state, not South Florida Water Management District, actually owned the island. And to allow the shoreline stabilization to be included in the island, we had to do an amendment to the land management plan, so that is what is before you today.
With the state of Florida is the amendment?
Correct.
Agreement with them.
Yes, sir.
Let me, Mr. Chairman, if I may, just thank the commission for its strong support of the additional shoreline stabilization for nearly another mile there. And this was the most vulnerable little island that was about to wash away. And this is a wonderful thing that we're being able to capture that in this very project. So thank you all for all your support on this.
I'll second your motion for approval.
Yeah, I was going to get around to that. Yeah, thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment? Seeing none, any other discussion at the commission level? Seeing none, any opposition? Motion carries unanimous. We'll now go into public hearings.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Halverson with the County Attorney's Office. I have 3 public hearings this morning. I'm providing the affidavits of publication to the clerk. Item number 1 this morning is a petition to vacate the public's interest in a portion of the 10-foot platted public drainage easement along the front line of Lot 9 of the platted lot at 12175 Hibiscus Drive in Fort Myers. If there are any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
I'll move approval.
I'll second it. Motion and a second on the floor. Any public comment? Seeing none, bring it back up here. Any other commission comment? Seeing none, any opposition? Seeing none, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 2?
Item number 2 is also a petition to vacate. This is a petition to vacate the public's interest in the unimproved public utility easement centered along the common property lot line between lots 19 and 20 of the platted lots, 1311 Pine Avenue and Lehigh Acres. If there are any questions on this item, we'll be happy to answer them.
I'll move the Lehigh vacation.
I'll second it. Motion is second. Any public comment? Seeing none, bring it back to commission. Any other discussion? Seeing none, any opposition? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Item number 3. Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Swindle, Assistant County Attorney. I have your 3rd public hearing this morning. This is a hearing to establish the solid waste disposal and solid waste system assessment rates and other charges, and to direct that those special assessments be placed on the tax bill. If you have any questions, staff is available, and this has been legally advertised.
I do have 1 card for a public comment. Any questions currently right now? Seeing none, I'll have the gentleman handling the card, Bill Jones, public comment.
Bill, he's right there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bill Jones. I'm the Division Manager for Waste Pro here in the Fort Myers area. Thank you for allowing us to speak today. We just wanted to come in and talk a little bit about the assessment. We did request a 0.98% increase, which is the CPI calculation through our standard contract. We did that back in May, and since then have looked at some of our increased costs and some things that are happening in the market, and our labor costs specifically have really increased dramatically. Most of the increases we're seeing are related to what I would refer to as post-pandemic economic recovery, I think. We're seeing increased costs really across the board. Increased cost in containers, increased cost in labor, truck parts. I mean, it's really just across the board. In reviewing the CPI component, we've determined that it may not cover all those costs going forward. So we understand what's happening today, and what we would like to do is reserve the ability to come in at a later date, talk with staff about the possibility of recovering some of those sort of unusual, extraordinary cost increases that we've seen this year. So that's, we just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of some of those concerns.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Any other public comments on this item?
Mr. Chairman, as he walks away, is there anything that would prohibit them from talking to our staff in the future anyway about internal cost factors? I mean, he seemed to be asking our permission, but I don't see that he's prohibited.
Commissioner Mann, you are absolutely correct. They can come in and talk to staff anytime. In fact, the contract does specify a process whereby they can make requests on the order that the gentleman is speaking of.
Okay, thank you.
You know, I also remember, again, I don't remember what year it was, but I do remember a substantial fuel change at one point in time, and there was a opportunity when I was on the Sanibel City Council for them to come back and talk about those exorbitant fuel charges, and there was a fuel surcharge that was levied to the taxpayers. So understand the flexibility, and during my briefing, certainly, Glenn, you were very explicit on what options we'll have available, and certainly are open to those conversations in the future.
Thank you.
Any other?
I have a question for staff, maybe Glenn can answer. So, I mean, so for the consumer, it's a 3% increase, which is $7 a year per homeowner, correct? So for the 3% increase, if there's 0.98 going to the haulers, where's the rest of the other 2% going?
So it's primarily for capital items, Commissioner. I'll ask Mr. Whitehead to get a little more specific on that if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. While the increase to the haulers, the franchise haulers, is part of the increase, the great majority of the increase this year is due to the fact that each household is creating 13% more waste than 2018, and the majority, like 2.4% of the 3% increase, is designed to cover the increased waste generation at the household.
Thank you.
So then, Doug, just to follow up, obviously with that increase, we're theoretically, since the cost went up, we're utilizing our reserves to obviously offset that additional expenditure or that additional volume, if you will. I mean, I know we've had conversations about that. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add, Mr. Chairman, is they gave us a great briefing about what the reserves in the solid waste department are going towards right now, and honestly, the capacity needs that we currently have and that we're going to need in the very near future, and how building those reserves are going to help us meet those needs to build the new facilities, the larger facilities that we'll need to handle our growing community and the growing household waste. It seems like not only is the community growing, but also the amount of waste at each house is also growing. We're throwing away more stuff these days. So, you know, these are some things that we need to plan for. I would have even been okay if you wanted to throw a few of those slides up here too, just so that everybody could see it, but appreciate you giving us that briefing in our office.
In addition to that, I know we had a pretty comprehensive workshop regarding solid waste and what our future looks like and what are the things we look and challenges in front of us. So building those types of reserves and doing that, and you did a great job during the workshop and then obviously during our own individual briefing. So appreciate some of the challenges we'll have in the future, significant as they are, but I'm very sympathetic to someone having additional expenses, but we in that enterprise fund have endured a lot of additional expenses as well by increased capacity or increased picking up more garbage than we intended.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion?
I have a quick, Doug, how much do we have in the total reserves for solid waste? I know there's different enterprise funds, but you know off the top of your head, or staff know that?
I do. 1 second. At this moment, we have approximately $89 million in reserve.
89? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And really, it's our big challenge is like in 27, if I recall, right? I mean, where we start to, so we're going to really need to continue to build these reserves up. And, you know, the other issue we have is there's some debt falling off associated with that. So there'll be some augmentation, I'd imagine, of both. But building the reserves are essential right now, especially considering the growth we're going through.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion from someone.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval of the staff recommended item here.
I'll second the item. Motion is second on the floor. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll close that. Any other discussion? Seeing none, any opposition?
Opposed.
One opposed, 3 carries. Thank you. Public hearing number 2. I'm sorry, number 4. My apologies.
Good morning. Again, my name is David Halverson with the Lee County Attorney's Office. Item number 4 is a resolution that will authorize the collection of annual special assessments pursuant to the uniform method of collection for non-ad valorem special assessments under Chapter 197 Florida statutes. This resolution will also adopt and certify to the Lee County Tax Collector the special assessment rolls for 28 municipal service benefit units. If there are any questions, staff is available.
Any questions?
We don't have to have this read into the record, everyone?
Not yet.
That's for the budget hearing.
Next month, yeah.
Yeah, I can hardly wait. Okay, thank you.
We could do it now. Exciting part of.
No, thank you.
It's the most exciting part of the public hearing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't want to miss it if this is our only opportunity, but
We could do it
looking
twice.
forward to this next month.
We do once in your office and then one out here.
Any questions?
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I have a motion, a second on the floor. Back up to the commission level. Any opposition? Seeing none, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That obviously will then go on to our walk-on agenda item. County Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, the item we're about to present is certainly not presented lightly. I think this is the first time in the course of my career I've asked the Board of County Commissioners for permission to litigate against the state of Florida. As you know, we have been involved actively with the State Historical Resources Board and process regarding certain designations on Boca Grande. We've attempted to work within their system as their system exists. I'm not going to explain that we understand their system. It's one of the most convoluted, nondescript processes I've ever been party to. Commissioners, you recall, this board declined the nomination. A large majority of the affected property owners declined the nomination. Notwithstanding, we are headed for an appeal filed by a out-of-county paid consultant who I question their standing, but we'll bring that up both in the appeal and litigation should that be necessary. Given the process to date, I have very little confidence in the fact that this will be resolved administratively, and therefore the request is that if necessary, our office be authorized to file suit on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners against the state of Florida to challenge the designation of certain properties within the Boca Grande Historic Preservation District. The litigation will be handled by our office, so expense will be minimal.
Any questions?
Do you need a motion for that, or?
Yes, sir.
I move the county attorney's recommendations for litigation for this item.
I'll second that. I do have a question, if I may. So walk us through a timeline when you might have to actually pull the trigger.
We have the appeal that is set for, I believe it's August 6th. We would have 30 days following the rendition of that order to file the litigation should it be necessary.
Okay. It really depends on the outcome.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And again, we hope litigation will not be necessary. We have a conference call with senior counsel from the Department of State tomorrow afternoon to try and work through the process, but out of an abundance of caution because of the timeframes involved in your board meeting schedule, we bring this matter to you this morning.
Mr. Chairman, just a little clarification here. We've had this issue before us a couple times now, I think. Have we not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And what you're suggesting is totally consistent with the positions the commission has taken each time we've discussed this.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. This is
And
further
you
into
see this as the only resolution possible.
absent some success via my conference call tomorrow afternoon and or at the appeal hearing, regrettably, yes, sir.
And there'll be no expense because y'all are going to handle it yourself?
Yes, sir. There'll be minimal expense in terms of
Oh, yeah,
court
yeah,
filing fee.
internally, yeah.
But we will litigate it
Thank you,
in-house.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion and a second. Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Any other discussion at the commission level? Any objection? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you all. Next item is commissioner items. Commissioner Mann.
None, none.
Commissioner Hanna.
I have none.
I have none.
I do, and I'd like to give the gavel to the vice chair. Thank you. So just an update on LOSUM. There is a letter that was circulated to you all that needs to go out to Colonel Kelly. Just to digress, obviously, from this process of LOSUM, which is Lake Okeechobee System Manual, Operations Manual. And we've been working really closely with the Corps as best we possibly can. They were down here just some 6 weeks ago. The entire community, Mayor Smith's in the audience from Sanibel. She was there with every elected official I can imagine, from the delegation through the mayors through the county, and initially had a meeting with them, and then last Monday, right here in Lee County, had a roundtable where the community is very concerned. So the process we've gone through after 19 months is to come up with an alternative. No real imagination the way they labeled these. They were AA, BB, CC, DD, and EE. And CC actually is the one that was selected. There was certainly a lot of discussion initially associated with CC, that there's going to be some modifications to it. At least in the conversation, what I was certainly to surmise is we had a great presentation by Dan DeLisi and our natural resource staff. And Mr. County Manager, I can't thank you enough for the support. And the community has just really gotten behind this in so many different ways. A rather passionate meeting, a rather frustrating meeting, because I still don't understand this process. I guess the good news of CC, if there's a good news, is that we actually will receive more low flow issues. You know, the odd thing that was pointed out is we receive low flow issues to balance our salinity. We, the West Coast, was never hooked up to the Caloosahatchee. So it's a oxymoron to say that they're helping us, because by nature we weren't hooked up to it. Therefore, we have a salinity issue. Therefore, we need freshwater releases. So that really doesn't help us at all. On the high flows, as we go through this iteration, staff has done a great job on indicating the issue. And the prolonged period of high flows are, it could, I think the exact quote was, let me get it, during the high flow issues, if it's a 10-year wet period, they will result in receiving 50% more high flows than we would under LORS 2008. So the issue, honestly, is really the high flow issue. And the second misnomer is that the East Coast would indicate that they do not receive anything from the lake, and ergo they shouldn't receive anything. Their argument is that during the low flow, we have a need. And since we take from the lake, we should be able to take water during the wet season. What's true is by design, when C-44 was put together, the way it was designed, they actually backflow 60% of the water into the lake. So not only have CC the way the diagram is, and it starts its own E and works its way up to D, to C, to B, and to A. They don't receive any water until we get into level C, and it's very wet. So we're the only reciprocant. You know, I've had several conversations. I've even talked to the congressman from the East Coast, and he said, well, just send it south. Well, our staff said there's 3 places to go: east, west, and south. We are maximizing the amount of water going south. It is certainly an issue when there's no water going to the East Coast, because we basically are receiving their share of the water. And to add insult to injury, we actually receive their backflowed water on top of receiving massive releases to us. It's a very frustrating process that is going on, and I think we've done everything that we possibly can do. I'd like permission from this body to send a letter that's drafted to the Colonel identifying where we think the optimization can take place and where we have significant opportunities to see changes. And I think that's necessary. So I'll pause here, and what I'd like to do is make a motion that the board, from the Board of County Commissioners, allows us to send the letter to Colonel Kelly with our staff's recommendations and the Board of County Commissioners' recommendations on the optimization and the changes we'd like to see in CC.
I'll second your motion, Mr. Chairman. I looked at the recommendations, and they appear to be completely in line with what we talked with the Army Corps about at the meeting in person as well. And so, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I certainly appreciate your frustration and your ability to speak out on this issue, because this is the time when they're setting the roadmap for the next potentially decade of how they're going to manage the lake, and we need to make sure that the West Coast and what the impacts of those discharges is considered as they put that Lake Okeechobee System Operating Manual together. So yeah, I think this is great, and happy to support your motion.
Okay.
I'd like to also thank the chairman for your hard work on this. You've been involved with this for many, many, many years, and I think Commissioner Mann's heard this story many, many years. And me personally, I've gone through 4 congressmen and 3 colonels through this process over the last 9 years dealing with the Lake Okeechobee, and it's very frustrating because when I hear you and I see you talking, and you've been doing it for the last 10 years and from different positions, and it's just very frustrating because you're talking to the Corps, who is engineers looking at it from a water management standpoint, period. They could care less about as far as the environmental impact or the financial impact to our area. But it's just so frustrating because trying to get something done, and I totally support your motion today, but I want to thank you personally, though, for your steadfast position on this, though. Representing the board. You've done a great job representing the board this year.
Any public comment on the letter that we're going to send out? None. Bring it back to the commission level. Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. I'm going to go one step further, and I appreciate the indulgence, if you will. So the irony in this situation is Colonel Kelly has indicated that there may potentially, his words were, some tweaks, some minor tweaks to this iteration that we have called CC. We need substantial changes, not minor tweaks. Minor tweaks is not going to get it done. And I can assure you that isn't the case. The other odd situation we have is between August 5th and August 10th, the Colonel's decision will be made on just exactly what CC will look like and what type of optimization. Certainly haven't been able to get his read clearly on this issue whatsoever, but tweaks, and our staff is extremely frustrated. And every mayor that was at the table, from Sanibel to Fort Myers Beach to Cape Coral to ourselves, the delegation wrote a great letter to the Colonel today. Our congressman has written a great letter as well. But between August 5th and August 10th, he's going to make a decision. And the decision's going to be go forward with CC, and here might be the changes. I'd like the board to consider to have every optional available to us, including anything in the toolbox, and not limiting to anything in the toolbox, including any type of legal things we need to do to challenge this. And that would be my motion.
Is that a new motion?
That's a new motion.
Okay. So
I'm supportive of everything you're talking about, but I just don't have a clue really what some options are if the Colonel and the Corps ignore our letter. I mean, we've been ignored in the past, so these tools in the toolbox you're referring to, what big hammer have we got?
Mr. Chairman, regrettably, I think we're left with the potential for litigation once again. And that litigation would be within the framework of perhaps a rule challenge under the Federal Administrative Procedures Act. We would also explore implications on endangered species and perhaps an action under the Endangered Species Act as well as NEPA. So we would respectfully request, if that's going to be the board's direction, that direction be as broad as possible and authorize our office to pursue all challenges, whether administrative or judicial.
I will second that motion.
So just a little bit more, Commissioner Mann, just to go through this process and talk about what we potentially have. The irony in this is there's an option on the table. We all know retired Lieutenant Colonel Jennifer Reynolds. She actually works for the Water Management District. She was the #2 person the last 3 years. And the Commissioner Pendergrass's comment before, this is my 5th colonel, but she nailed a solution and an optimization that can help us greatly. We would obviously benefit. The East Coast cannot live in fairyland and have 0 releases. That just isn't possible. So they would receive releases, and more water would go south. So I strongly suggested to the colonel that he consider, someone that worked on this and knows this probably better than anyone, to take her considerations into consideration and truly adopt those. You know, the odd thing we have, Commissioners, I don't know what's going to take place, but the citizens of Lee County can't take this anymore. There's not a CERP project around as we've asked for money. There's nothing that the federal government is helping us. You look at the IDS schedule, the integrated delivery schedule, there's 68 projects out there. We've completed 1. At right now, we're going to look to 2045, potentially. We might get it done. And to do that, the federal government has to give $725 million this year, and that for the next 4 years to stay on track. So LOSUM has so much pressure on it because managing the lake, which we've done successfully since the red tide and blue-green algae event the last 3 years, has been a great situation. So you have to manage it. The governor fired the entire water management district so they take care of the low flows, and now we have the high flow issue that the colonel needs to do. I can't imagine in any situation that the community would embrace us standing up as a body to say, we're not going to take this. I don't like to litigate anything. There's a point and there's a situation where I think that might be it. It's an administrative challenge. It's certainly something we have to do. I bring it to this board because what happens if the 8th or the 9th or the 10th, he has a very small tweak to this, and our staff continues to say things like, this could be, you know, worse in the high flow issues if we have a wet next 10 years by 50%. I mean, our quality of life, our economy, everything aspect of this is devastated, and we have to live with this for 10 years. LOSUM was supposed to be 2 or 3 years. It's 13. This is now set for a decade. I just want to have the flexibility to work with staff, to work with this, to see what type of situations. I don't know what the letter looks like, but it's going to come before our next meeting. So we're going to have some flexibility and some ability to do so. I can tell you that I've had conversations with various cities. I can tell you that every city that I've spoken to would join with us being a partner because the entire community is together. Our congressmen, our delegation, our mayors, you know, our county commission, one. I've talked to more people in the last week and a half, developers, you know, chambers, realtors. Everybody is petrified because 2018 wasn't long ago. And we had the perfect storm, red tide and blue-green algae. Sanibel, I picked up hundreds of thousands of pounds of dead fish. I can't even recall the amounts. And in Cape Coral, the blue-green algae was horrific. To me, I'm tired. This is our way of saying, we'll do what we have to do, and we're willing to challenge you if there isn't substantial changes done to this. And that's what I'd like to do. And that's why I asked and handed the gavel over to Cecil, and I appreciate the second.
Reverend, if I may respond, you're preaching to the choir. We've already shown our support for your leadership on this, for which we're profoundly grateful. You've gotten more ink than all of us combined here for the last 10 or 12 years on this subject of what I've told people on the street have asked me, what are y'all doing here with the Corps? What are you so mad about? And I've told them I've used the analogy of the movie was, gosh, it's 30 years ago now, Network, where the TV commentator told everybody watching him to open your windows and shout out that we are mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. And that's the leadership that you have demonstrated. And we're with you all the way, because we go to the hearings, they come to us and they talk, and they give us a little smidgen that makes no difference when the serious flows start coming this way. And we get more than anybody, and always have and always will, until we throw a fit. Having said all that, I also have been in this government game long enough to know that suing the United States Corps of the Army Engineer is a very difficult task to succeed at. And I don't want you to do many historic survey on it, but it'll be a tough uphill swim over a lot of rocks in this creek. I'm supportive of you, and I support your second motion, and I said, this is one way of saying we're getting ready for the long run, and I'm with you.
I appreciate it, Commissioner.
We have a motion, we have a second on the floor. Any other discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. If I may, just real quickly, this is something that I'm very interested to hear. I'm very excited to hear it, and I'll tell you why. It's something I've been thinking about for the last several years. When you look at the history of the Everglades and you look at the history of the way water has flowed in the state of Florida, the reason why so much water can't go south is because there were lawsuits that were filed that they won, right, to protect their tribal lands and to protect the Everglades and even to protect endangered species from getting flooded with fresh water from lake flows when the lake gets too full. And the result of all those new restrictions and all those lawsuits being won was that the Caloosahatchee River became the biggest drain from the Lake Okeechobee bathtub, if you will, speaking, with that analogy. So because we are the biggest drain, that is why they're sending us the most water. If we could stand up for our estuary, stand up for our environment and our economy, and say, look, we would like to see the same protections that the birds and the environment have south, and even the tribal lands have south, then I think that's certainly something worthy of us to do on behalf of the people that we represent. So I'll support this. I certainly want to make sure that we're included every step of the way, that we get a chance to talk about what it's going to look like as these things evolve. But yeah, it's a good strategy.
And I, first and foremost, thank you all, gentlemen. This is an issue I ran on. This is an issue that's too passionate to me, and I have a tendency to get really emotional because I look at my children, I look at my grandchildren. I was really blessed to come here 17 years ago and live here in this great community. But to have my children now in Lee County, to have my grandchildren grow up here, and I look at so many people, you know what, it's amazing how many people get stereotyped. I can tell you every developer has called me up, how do I help you, Commissioner, what do I do? I'm all for water quality. So all the misnomers that are out there, this is one where the community is together. We are one. We are one community all together with every aspect. And Commissioner Mann, I hope we don't have to go here. I've been in business for 30 years. I hate lawsuits. But there's a point in time we get punched in the mouth too much. You say no more. And I don't know exactly, but I'll certainly look to our county attorney, who's done a marvelous job, to understand how the people south were able to prevail, because they did sue and they did win. So I can't say you can't do it. I do appreciate it. I know I'm on my soapbox. This has just been a fight I've been involved in my 14, almost 15 years of office. It just seems to be one that I'm just tired of getting beat up every day. I really am, and this has got to stop. Thank you.
Well, hopefully this will change the tide, no pun intended there, but hopefully this will work. And again, thank you for your effort. So we have a motion, we have a second floor. Any public comment on the second motion? John Micah.
Good morning, Board. John Micah. Appreciate what you're doing for water quality. Support you. Love the emotion. I think we should also look to do other things for water quality in-house, that we could do in our own backyard, and look at some things more closely. Like, for example, there's a project to put a bicycle path on the north side of State Road 80 in Fort Myers Shores, and it's going to fill more pervious soils and replace them with concrete, and it's going to allow more stormwater runoff to go straight into the Caloosahatchee River unfiltered by the soils.
Excuse me, John, the motion before us is for the board to take action, litigation, reference Commissioner Wayne's motion, has nothing to do about water quality. This is about the county litigation, permission to go litigation. So if you could try to stay on that fact of the motion, that's the topic before us today.
All, then I'd like to support, thank your motion. I feel your emotion, and I'm support you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll come back to the board. Any objection to the motion? No objection, motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you all.
You can have the chair back.
Thank you, I appreciate it very much, more than you know. 1 second, my screen just died for a second. I left off at, Commissioner, committee appointments. Commissioner Mann?
None.
Commissioner Hammond?
I have none.
I don't have any.
I do not have any.
Great. County manager items?
Nothing this morning, Mr. Chair, thank you.
County attorney items?
Nothing further, thank you.
We do have a workshop at 1:30, and with nothing else, I'll call for a recess, and I'll see everybody back in these chambers at 5 o'clock. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, my apologies. Public comment, I missed public comment. I do have Willie Joe and anyone else. Willie Joe Schottmeyer. Willie Joe, are you here? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have any other cards other than Willie Joe, I apologize. Okay, great. Thank you. I do apologize. Cutting the meeting off too. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to talk again on the need for this affordable housing and emergency housing that we've been coming and asking for a long time. I know that the county and the city own some properties. Matter of fact, I was out and I asked a neighbor, told me, well, the city owns this, the county owns this house over there, blah, blah, blah. They just sit. Why not us utilize them, purchase them from the county, and we have some resources to aid with affordable housing and a base place like, I'm an advocate, I cook for the people, other people came here that do feed in the parks and things like that. We got more resources to help the homeless in that. So we're asking you to look into this and get back with Jasmine and I. And I want to talk again to Roger with Human Services, because I know that they were doing houses in North Fort Myers. I've seen pictures of them. So there are solutions out there. Let's grasp them and get human needs met. With that, I will pass. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Willie Joe. Stan Mitchell. And then Jasmine Miller after that. I do apologize again for missing public comment.
How's everybody doing? I don't mean to sugarcoat any personal problems, but it's kind of rough out there on the homeless, and we do get rough skin sometimes. But I have a mother figure that's out there. I'm not going to say her name, but in the past she's helped me, and there should be more people that's in housing that should help others that way. She bent over backwards for me, but she's retired. Whenever they do house someone, they should make sure that certain things are proper with the house and certain things should not go on, whatever the case may be. But I fell into a problem whereas I was evicted and put on a summons that I should not return on the same night. I don't know if that's proper or whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to sugarcoat the situation, but where I lived, it was sort of like, you know, things were not in place, substandard, but at the same time you could, you know, and you know, because I tried to make it look the way how I wanted, you know. So another thing is financially, a lot of people might be messed up because they don't have the type of money to get housing. And I fall into that bracket because I have a payee, and for some reason, these were strangers, and we sat down before my worker retired, and everything got, you know, botched up because she thought I was doing something wrong. And now I'm wondering, who do these people, you know, like, you know, what do they think this is? Because I was only getting like $240 a month and not getting paid like everybody else. And the people knew exactly where I was. They, I mean, well, to begin with, I never got anything where I lived anyway through the mail as far as financially, because where I lived before.
Could you wrap your comments up? You have 3 minutes.
Excuse me, sir?
Could you wrap your comments up? You have 3 minutes on public
Okay,
comment.
where I was before, the mailbox was sort of like, so I was doing general delivery, and the lady was picking up the information. So what I'm trying to say here is, I don't know who these people are, but they're strangers, and they are not, you know, government people themselves. And Social Security, I went down there. I'm not perfect with them, but I tried to talk to the gentleman, and he was not, you know, human-like. So I'm just trying to say here now, you gentlemen are very upstanding, sport coated down and everything, you know what I'm saying? So
If I may, I apologize for interrupting real quick. I see we've got our director of our Human and Veteran Services team here actually with us, and he would be able to help give you even more specific details about each of the programs you spoke of that we could improve on.
Right.
Would it be okay if we set you up to meet with him real quickly after the meeting? We're just about to wrap up.
Fine.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, they're trying to get me housed today.
Okay. Well, why don't we do that? You know, because the red light's on and your time's wrapped up. So
Right.
we'll set you up with. Is that okay, Mr. County Manager? With Roger is his name?
Because my place was very substandard. I mean, I had the person that was in charge of the place. She wasn't pushing a stove on me, AC, and you know, I was gagging at nights and stuff like that, and fridge and all that. And
Thank you. We'll certainly meet
Here's
with you
Roger
right
in the
after.
back, right here.
and you know, I got evicted and it was messed up on the same night.
Thank you. Next card is Jasmine Miller, and then after that, Robert Wolskis. After Jasmine.
Good morning, Jasmine Miller, JD. I'm going to quote my favorite passage from the Bible, Psalm 83:18. May people know that you, whose name is Jehovah, you alone are the Most High over all the earth. I am now giving Jehovah the problem of the homeless. Only him alone can house us, nobody else. We're living in a very imperfect world. Now, I want to tell you all something. I would like for you to increase the salary for the bus drivers. You probably should give them hazard pay. They take these huge machines and they pull them, maneuver them throughout the narrow streets, and you give them almost minimum wage. And I'm asking all the restaurants around this county, feed the bus drivers. They work so hard. And people who own apartments come to their assistance. May Jehovah bless the bus drivers. Have a good day.
Thank you. And then Robert Wilgoss. I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly.
It's Robert Wilgoes. All right. I wanted to speak about the Route 80 project and how it has many adverse effects on the community, and that it's going to be a tremendous burden tax-wise. I think it's a big waste of taxpayers' money, the way it's being proposed. I think that has not been enough or any community involvement in the project, and I think it has adverse effects in far as the water issues and stuff like that, because once they mess with the culverts along Route 80 and water is going to be going directly into the Caloosahatchee instead of being filtered through the ground, that's also going to add to a lot of issues. And there definitely has not been enough or any community involvement in this whole project.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comment? Mr. Mike.
John Micah. I'm here now about the asking in an effort to transpose the two approved projects on State Road 80 and to ask the Lee County BOCC to ask the Florida Department of Transportation to pull the projects because they're in violation of Florida Statute 335-199. The projects were approved 2 months ago, and they start construction this month. And Florida Statute 335-199 clearly dictates that there should have been a public hearing a minimum of 180 days prior to the finalization of the project. And I can't find really anybody in our community that ever heard about this project. So, and then I'd like the county to also take action that the Lee County Board of Commissioners was misrepresented in a court of law by the state of Florida in saying that Commissioner Mann approved the project for the county. As you know, Commissioner Mann's not all 5 commissioners. So I have that transcript here if you'd like a copy of that, where it says, so Commissioner Mann is stating here that Lee County has officially signed off on the project. Correct. So our county was grossly misrepresented in administrative law court, and I'd like you to take actions because I really feel it's going to have substantial impacts to our community. If you could just picture putting a bike path on the north side of State Road 80 where there's nearly 100 crossings, and then traveling westbound and having to wait on State Road 80 for the bike club to pass by. That's going to create queuing issues, and it's directly in violation of Florida that Design Manual 214.3.5. So vehicles are going to be queuing on State Road 80. Now, they've also hidden medians from the public, and that will remove the left turn in where there's queuing. So now those vehicles are going to have to go down to Buckingham Road and turn around, and it's just going to be like a parking lot if you have all these queuing issues. And I could provide the Lee County Development Code that the project's in violation of, as well as the FDOT Design Manual, as well as Florida Administrative Code. I could provide a whole lot of things, but it's just been hidden from the project, and, from the public. So I would appreciate if I get some support from the county. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for your comments. Any other, you can give it to him. Any other public comments? Seeing none, I'll close it and we'll recess till 5 p.m. tonight. Thank you. Thank you, sir.